Hello, ladies. Hello, gentlemen. What's going on? A giant banana is going on. Streamer is hungry. Philae! Hello, hello. What's going on? Sully in the house. No, my friend, this is not leeches. This, my friend, is Chessable. I would like to ask you to gently and kindly observe the title of the stream. That is the giveaway. I thought we were going to do something slightly different today, and that is going to be Chessable. Jazz, thank you so much for your generosity, friend. Thank you, thank you. Hello, everybody in the YouTube. How are we going? How are we going, lovely humans? Risho, hey, hey, hey. Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. All right, ladies, on the menu today is going to be us working on a Chessable course, which I co-authored with legend Judit Polgar. And we are going to work on parts of the course together. Yeah. The first position is already on the board. And I am inviting everyone to join the chat and tell me what you would do with the black pieces. Let's go. Let's go. The idea is that we are practicing key forcing calculations, checks, captures, and threats. So let's do that. Hola, hola, first last. How are you going, man? Good to have you on board. Let's see if we can see a false mate here, perhaps. Which Judith pulled off beautifully. Queen d1, I'm not understanding that. Nor am I understanding queen e7. Queen a3. Jesus, guys, what is happening with your coordinates? Whoa. f5 with the idea of a rucksack is not bad, Jez, but remember that the idea of these exercises, in fact, this chapter is called CCTV, which is the checks, captures, threats, variations. So the first moves you should always look at is the aggressive checking sequences. Okay, Apot, you are a little bit closer, but still wrong. That move would lose to check. This check is definitely the way we want to start, but what is the correct follow-up? Yeah, alright, finally YouTube is bringing in the goods. So the idea is that we play rook d2 check, and then you don't go lame, you go check. Because that allows a checkmate pattern. This is why you look at checks, captures, and threats first all the time, every time. Now this actually was a game played by Judith herself at the Chess Olympiad. No, forget f5. f5 is terrible. I hate to tell you this, man, but f5 is really, really bad because then white has check. We need to go checks all the way, guys. Otherwise, it's a failure. f5 is no next move made because queen e8 check and we can forget about it. This is a very important lesson that a lot of chess players somehow don't follow, that the first thing you look at is always the checking sequence. The second thing you look at is if within a 2-meter radius there is beef jerky available or not, because the streamer has to eat. And usually there is beef jerky. Doesn't queen d2 work as well? That's the only move that works. If you meant instead of the sack, the answer is no, because then queen g2 goes back. After queen g2, queen h6 check still wins. Same story. Tindy in the house. Tindy in the house. Alright, YouTube chat. Tindy is there to moderate, right? However, today I want the chat to do something for me with regards to Tindy. Your job, chat, is to persuade this beautiful human to finally download Discord so that I can talk to him during a stream without having to type stuff on my phone. Alright, this is a very famous game. I'm going to tell you the first move. It's gonna be rook e1. And now you need to give me the mate sequence. And the way you do this is that you calculate your line all the way. And because I want you to save some energy from typing, all I want you to do is to type in the last move of the sequence. White to move, try to find if we have a mate or not. So let's see how we go. Hello Stefkic, hello Tikari, hello Sepchess in Twitch. This is Chessable. Please note the title of the stream. This is Chessable. That's why I'm also having the timer at the bottom, which is also a giveaway that this is Chessable. Ratio queen d2 in the previous puzzle was met by queen g2 and all the threats are deflected. So what is the checkmating move? Remember, your job is to calculate checking sequences. This is chess at its finest, but also at its most basic. And generally speaking, this is an area where club level players really struggle. Yes, it is a puzzle, Ted. I'm showing you today a Chessable course that I co-authored with Judit Polgar. FE8 double check can be a way to do it, but there is a sexier way to go. So Tindy says, let's go bishop takes d6 first. And then queen e8. But I think queen e8 first is so much prettier. Then we get the queen. And then bishop takes d6 is a double check checkmate. How sexy is that? That almost looks sexier than the streamer himself, right? If you manage to crack this, be proud of yourself. But again, I would like to stress that this is the most basic calculation because it's all checks, all completely forcing in one straight line. But still, credit to everyone who solved it. Double check checkmate is always pretty. Okay, this is an all-time favorite of mine. White, if I'm not mistaken, he castled. Yep. Okay, sorry, I need to move on to the next where it actually becomes dicey. Alright, so what do we do now? Ratio, it was a double check, buddy. You didn't pay attention. When white played rook bishop d6, it's a double check. It's check from the bishop, check from the rook on e1 at the same time. Rewind the tape, go back. Right, this is an absolutely delightful mate in 4. We need to find a mate in 4 moves. Once again, if you want to impress me, what is this book called? It's a Chessable course, my friend, which I'm going to put the link in the chat for. If you type in Polgar, by the way, it's gonna come up, but that's the course. Very good, Steph Kitch. Well done. Very good. Sweet Bell Pepper, thank you for the follow. Also, YouTube, please don't forget to send likes and emojis and comment. And most importantly, please subscribe to the channel for fantabulous content. Oh, Gabriel MM coming in strong in YouTube too. Wow. Well done, Gabe. Big old Gabe is delivering the goods. Excellent job, buddy. Well done. So the solution, guys, goes like this. Knight f6. Rook e1 check. And then now we need to eliminate the knight so that we can go in here for the checkmate. Know that the bishop is pinned. And the way we do that is check here. The black knight had to take. And now queen d7 is going to be an epically sexy mate because the bishop is pinned. All of these guys can be found in my Chessable course, which I co-authored with Judit Polgar. Link was just posted in the chat. All right, next. Okay, this is a super, super famous and super nasty puzzle. Oh, I love this one. You guys are gonna love this. You are guys absolutely going to love this. Remind me to get this one clipped. It will be an epic short. White to move, made in 4. Last move, please. Sweet Bell Pepper, by playing through lots of attacking games by Paul Morphy, Alexander Alekhine, and Garry Kasparov. And having a coach who constantly hammers it into you to attack, attack, attack. Rook h7 is not the last move. Incorrect. G7 mate is correct, yes. Very good. Please excuse my eating, but I won't have a chance to eat lunch because I'm going to stream through lunchtime. So I have to stuff my face a bit. I'll tell you a very cool story about this position too in a little while, once I stop munching. Very nice smothered mate indeed. Is there anyone in the house who doesn't like beef jerky? Queen bait mate, negative. Negative. Negativo. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually a composed position by a gentleman who lived in the 1700s and went by the name of Philip Stammer. And he was one of the first authors who assembled, in fact, composed, assembled, and published a book about chess puzzles. And this was one of them. Most of his puzzles are really, really fun, forcing checkmates, but usually featuring a lot of very exciting sacrifices in the style of the romantic chess. For example, here, his solution is the absolutely incredible rook g7 check, then queen sack on g8. Then we are going to play rook takes h7, sacking the rook for the Levy fans. And after knight takes, an incredible checkmate is delivered by the humble pawn. And that is a fabulous checkmate for the finish. Woo! Hot! Hello, Shirogorov. How are you going, man? That is a WOW. Wow, man. That's when you pay the streamer, right? Or at least buy the course. This is all in my course with Judit Polgar. Alright, let's have a look at next. Next one is actually a game by Judith herself. A very, very famous one. In fact, almost everyone should recognize this right away. This is an incredibly famous position. No. No, Queen B8 is not made. The only solution is the one that I just presented. Gold coins splashed all over the board. Well, you just send them to me instead. Alright, this is white to move and mate as well. Once again, forcing variation. The focus is on checking all the way. Ah, Shirogorov coming in with 100 titties. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, very cool. Last move, please. As usual, I'm interested in the last move most. That tells me that you see the solution. Rook g7 shachmate. Well, it depends on which way the black king maneuvers around, but you guys are all correct. Thank you for the additional 100 titties. So the first move is the insanely cool queen g7 check, setting everything in motion, allowing the rooks to enter the fray with checks. And now check, check, and checkmate. Note that king h6 would have been mated immediately, which is why in the previous move Judit needed her king, her king on h4 to ensure that black king on h6 can't escape. And now we go check, check, and mate. The very famous Judit Polgar against Lars Bo Hansen from 1989. What a game. What a game. What a combo. What a combo. Alright, quickly, next. Another Judit game. Phew, this is gonna be fiery too, baby. Alright, so this is Kalkerman against Judit Polgar from New York, 1987. And this is going to be an absolutely delightful checkmate pattern. Yes, Queen H7 also works, I believe. Yes. Alright, last move, please. The TDs are coming in. Strovex, thank you. Love the TDs. Queen B1 mate is not right. What is the last move for this puzzle is my question, YouTube. Omar. Assalamu alaikum, brothers. We have got a fair few of the Muzi friends. Hype train, baby. Didn't even notice that, yeah. We are black, yes. The board is always giving you the orientation so that you are with that color that is closer to you. If it was a game, I would just play Rook C3 and stop calculating. Now, here is the deal. These exercises are exactly to practice calculation and to teach you to not to be lazy, but to go through everything and make sure that your line is correct. That is what separates the boy from the man when it comes to playing good chess. Queen A1 mate? I don't think so. Maybe that's possible, but that's not fastest. Maybe that's possible, Stefkic, but I don't think that that is the fastest mate. Ah, Sully! Sully coming in with the goods. Almost correct, Sully. You missed that one move in the sequence. Shirogorov, you're completely messing up the coordinates, buddy. So the cleanest way to do this, guys, is Rook takes C3. And this is where the trick comes. You go to A1 check first. But Queen A3 is fine too. And then, is it Bishop check? Yes. Wait a second, I have a delivery. Sorry. The joys of marriage, ladies and gentlemen, the joys of marriage is measured in home deliveries. Ah, mate here. Jeez. Oops. Alright, solved. Next. Chessbone, howdy. Galdor, hello, hello. Stutter step, yeah, nice one. Okay, next is going to be the very famous Judit versus Chucky. This is an easy one, folks. This is an easy one. Last move, please. That's part 3, but that is one of the links, buddy. You found part 3. This is the correct link that you see there. So Judith and I co-authored this course, and we wrote 3 courses basically. So it's part 1, 2, 3. Yeah, rook f8 check is the idea, but what do we do after king here? Let's not get too cocky. It's actually an unusual mate pattern. Chess pawn, rook g7 gets captured, buddy, and then I escape here. Be careful, guys. Your calculation is as sloppy as mine used to be. Your calculation is exactly as sloppy as mine used to be. No one has typed in the correct checkmating move yet. And I have got a bucket load of moves recommendations in the chat. YouTube, please don't forget to sub to the channel. It would be quite important that we do that. Oh, for goodness sake, Tindy, you are not allowed to send me money. You superhero. Thank you. Rook h7, guys, is met by rook takes c4, yeah? No mate. Tindy tipped 10 buckies through super chat. What an absolute Chad is this man. Finally, there is a correct solution in the chat. 1 correct solution. 2 now. Yeah. You can't afford, guys, calling this a mate when you are just hanging a queen, right? That is no bueno. That is really, really not good. So if you got this one wrong, which is about 90% of the viewers, it's a very, very strong recommendation for you to consider getting this course and improve your calculation. The only way to mate, guys, is rook check. And the only way to mate here is queen to g8, not f7. It has to be g8 because that's the only way to facilitate the knight mate. Alright? So check here. Not here. Not rook check. No nothing. Check here. Because this allows your knight to finish the job without allowing the king to escape. And so this is the only way to mate in 3. If you did not have this and you had something else, that counts as a fail. It's a lot. This puzzle was a lot harder than what it looked like at first sight with a mate in 3. Okay, this is a completely different story. It is not mate here. We need to win material, and it's very, very kindergarten-y. I expect everyone to get this correct. Tini, thank you so much, buddy, for the 10 dono. Court. That's a new username with the same person in it. Thank you so much, Courtney. For the dono. Look. You deserve the recognition, Courtney, for your endless generosity. Correct, Ikari. Well done. Well done. Who is your chess coach? Sorry, Tindy, I had to remove the music because it was copyrighted. Yeah, everyone is pretty much on the money with this one. I'm very, very impressed. Congratulations. So this is an example of the reason why we decided to put this in, because in case you noticed, all the previous puzzles were checks all the way, whereas this one is captures all the way. Checks, captures, threats. So capture, capture, capture. Okay, the last one is a check, but the point remains. Yeah? So that's the introduction into how one should be thinking. These are the most forcing moves. Okay, here is another very famous example. Black to move, be a rock star. Last move, please. Last, not first. Last move, please. It never ceases to amaze me that every time I ask chat to type in the last move, 97% of people will say the first. Morris RQ Rug. Thank you so much for the YouTube sub. That's where it's at, ladies. That's where it's at. Yeah, so it's a bit tricky to ask for a last move, but if we allow the idea to unfold, then the last move is Queen H2. Right? You can call Bishop F3 last because that's where black is clearly winning. So the idea is knight takes D4, capture. The knight couldn't have taken back because of checkmate. And now we take the knight and black loses, white loses a queen because taking on F3 allows mate in H2. Very good. This is a bloody good course. Just saying. Okay, let's see how we go here. I really like the text that we wrote here with Judith. It goes like this. Without having the right calculating habits, it is almost impossible to hit upon the correct idea. It is clear to see that we have no good checks available here. However, moving on to captures, you should be able to sink your teeth into something very juicy. Lead the attack. All right, ladies. All right, gentlemen. Sink your teeth into something juicy. This is a really, really fun one. And a challenging one too. Bobby Fischer has subscribed to our YouTube channel. Now that is an honor. That is definitely an honor. Yes, Tikari, you are correct about the Queen H7, mate. I don't see a... Oh, yes, I do see the Queen H6 one as well. Good job. Very, very well done. Very well done. Omar, when you say that you feel it's Rook E6 but IDK, what does the IDK stand for? What do you mean, I don't know? Like, explain to me what is not clear to you about Rook E6. Abdullah Nasser in the house saying knight F5, but isn't that hanging, brother? I am Anil Kunti, uncle of Abhijit Kunte. If I'm not mistaken, I actually played the game against Abhijit Kunte. Yeah, I think I played a game against Abhijit at the Durable Cup. And if you really are the uncle, warm welcome to you in the stream. Knight F5 is a mistake because it gets taken, yeah? You're welcome. I'm honored to have you on board. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did play against Abhijit Kunte. Yeah, I did. It was a draw. Yeah, in 2010 we played in the Double Cup. I remembered correctly. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so the correct answer, guys, is rook takes e6. The idea is that the pawn couldn't have taken the rook because then we slide in here with a mate. And what this move does is that it allows our next attacker to enter the fray, which is knight f5. Okay, who can tell me the mate now? It's a forced mate. All the way. Okay, so knight takes h6 check. Good. And that's the end of the story. How do we mate after this, guys? Your memory is very good. Yes, I mean, I didn't play too many grandmasters so that I would forget easily. Made in 3 now. Yeah, very good, Daniel. So check. Knight check on f5, knight takes e7, and queen h7 is mate. It goes like this. And the line that Derek recommended, which is even nicer, is check. And if king out, then mate here. Shout out for Tikari for seeing this. Alright, next. This is gonna be a bit of bullying here, folks. A little bit of bullying. This one is perhaps the first challenge in the sense that if you had this in an over-the-board game, you wouldn't necessarily think of a knockout tactic here. Why to play? Be a rockstar. I would need full conclusive lines here, please. Stefkic says knight f7, queen h7. What? Maybe Stefkic is still on the previous puzzle. Gabriel MM, you are a strong player, buddy. What's your FIDE rating? Gabriel MM in the YouTube chat is absolutely delivering the goods. So the idea is that first you take the knight, which is an important defender of h7. And in doing so, you also defend the bishop on g6. And when the bishop takes back, now you capture h7, which was immune to capture because of checkmate down here. And now we finally bring about the bishop check. I guess maybe rook f1 is also good. Yeah. But bishop f5 check was also winning. Seemed easy. Okay. Fair. I mean, some are easier than others. I'm not going to argue that. This was played by Judit actually, against Hakan Winfridsson in Göteborg, Sweden. Actually, we split this puzzle into two to make it shorter, but really it should have been one big puzzle. Well, Tindy, it's because you are busy running the show for me, buddy, so that's acceptable. Judit is correctly pronounced the way I'm doing it, like Judit. As if it was written with a Y. Most people call her Judit because that's the English way to go about it, but in Hungarian it's pronounced as Judit. No, Chessable is a lot more than just openings. It's middle games, end games, strategy, tactics, is the whole lot. Yeah, so the correct way to blast this open is rook takes. And then bishop takes g6. This is the beginning. And with that, we move on to the second part of the same game. Oh, maybe not. No, actually, sorry, I stand corrected. Different story. OMG, I love this. Oh my god, this is one of my favorite from the entire course. Oh boy, you guys are gonna love this. Here is what Judit had to say about this. Saving the best for last, here is a lovely attack for you from a charming location. This game took place on the picturesque island of Aruba in the Caribbean. Trying to match the beauty of the environment, I came up with a spectacular idea to finish the game. Let's go. Okay, rook f7, knight takes. Oh man, with head of dog, there were lots of wins there. I think bishop h6 was available, queen h6 was available. Oh no, the bishop was at d4, wait. No, I think it was... Wait, I need to think now. I'll go back to it, because I forgot the precise position. I'll go back to it. Okay, and what then, Tindy? Like, it's fine. You sack the two rooks on f7. Beautiful. What after king takes? Judit Polgar, the person who wrote the cause you are looking at, and the game was played by her. Yeah, I remember pawn c3, bishop d4, bishop e5. I'm trying to think about... Yeah, I would need to go back to it. Galdur, bishop d4 would be met in that line by capture, yeah? So, taking on f7 is correct, right? The key idea, guys, here is the knight check. It's very important that we pick the correct square with the knight. You can get the queen both ways, but one is a lot better than the other. Thank you, JR. I appreciate you saying that. So, why is knight b6 the correct one and not knight c7? Nah, Fuches, not at all. It's completely terminal. There is absolutely nothing left to work on. If you calculate this correctly, there is absolutely nothing left in the position. Correct. So the reason why we go to b6 is because now, after king f8, we would have had a checkmate. And now comes the most beautiful move of the puzzle, by the way. Now comes the most beautiful move of the puzzle. It doesn't matter, Tindy, whether it's protected or not, because it was a discovered check anyway, so that makes no difference. Bishop h6, that's an interesting idea, but I think you got the coordinates wrong. Yes, it is bishop h5 check. Don't go after the queen, guys. That's your emergency exit. The primary target is your king. right? That's how we do it. So check first, and then queen check here, and then queen checkmate on f3. So if king h4, then we have got bishop check, king g5, and mate. Wow. That's Judit at her finest, already at a very young age, scoring goals like a champ. Now, there was a very good question asked about this position that we looked at earlier, with rook takes and then bishop takes and then king g7 was the question. The game actually went king g8, not g7. I think if you go to g7, I honestly think that I just pull back the bishop. And then rook f1, bishop e3. The game finished like this. Check. Bishop e3. That's a mate threat. And then this check was the great finish. Take, check, and mate. That was a Twitch question. Judit was good. What's ironic is that she still is absolutely amazing. Alright, moving on to threats. So checks, captures, now we're going to cover a few threats related biz. Christian Bauer, a French grandmaster here, destroying the greatest chess player that ever lived, who never became a world champion. Who would that be? Coincidence, I would say, Mr. Trejo. Definitely Korchnoi. Definitely Korchnoi. Keres doesn't come close to Korchnoi in that competition, even though he was a brilliant player. What is the rating of the guy killing it on YouTube? I know who you are talking about, buddy. Like, there are a fair few guys who are killing it on YouTube. None of them are me. Oh, you mean... Sorry, I misunderstood. You don't mean like Agat Mater, right? When it comes to killing it on YouTube. Right. Just north of 2000 FIDE. And Galdor solved it already. Yes, and the YouTube chat is all over it too. Queen to d6. A beautiful deflection. The queen can't be captured because of knight mate on f7. And otherwise, yeah. Mate is coming on f6. And the rook f8 is not playable because the queen would be hanging, which is the final touch. Nice. Next. How many people will recognize this position, I wonder? How many people know which game this position is from? It's an eternal classic, so no die classics incoming. Although, to be fair, this was, I think it was a line from the game. It did not happen in the game. Kasparov game. Go back about 80 years. And then we are going to be close to the era in which it was played. It looks like a Mora. When do you have a bishop on g2 in the Mora? Come on, brother. It looks absolutely nothing like a Mora. When does black have two c pawns in the Mora? I think this is actually the antithesis of a Mora. But I don't want to get too argumentative because yesterday that didn't quite work out, did it? Yeah, except for everything that you see on the board. The G2 bishop, the D4 pawn, the double C pawns, like nothing. Oh god. Apart from the pawn structure and the location of the pieces. Pawn center, bro. When do you have a D pawn in the Mora? Like, come on, mate. Oh god. Oh. This was a Catalan, okay? Like, yeah. What do you know when you hear the country Indonesia? I don't know. Is this a geography test or a cultural test or... No, I was about to start a debate with you, but I decided not to do that because I learned a better way yesterday. And yeah, what you said is so laughable that I, instead of arguing, I just chose to laugh. I tell you what comes to my mind when I hear Indonesia. Megaranto Susanto, Indonesian Grandmaster. Irene Shukandar. Very strong female player from Indonesia. Jakarta, the capital city. Bali, where I'm going to go for a holiday soon. These are the things that come to mind first. Also, the absolutely horrific tsunami. A lot of things. Is this from Zurich 1953? Also no. Go back another 25 years. My thoughts on Indian chess? Rip for the rest of the world, my friend. Rip for the rest of the world. That's what I think about India's chess. You guys are dominating the world. It's not even funny. Actually, Arjun is now 4th in the world ranking and Aravind is 11th. And then we haven't talked about Gukesh, Prague. It's like, you guys should be banned from this game for like a decade or two just to give the rest of the world a bit of chance. What are your opinions on that one story of a professional chess player using a vibrating butt plug to cheat during a chess tournament? My opinion about that is that when you reach above a certain standard, you don't go below a certain standard. This is a direct translation from a very famous Hungarian author. And my opinion is that I consider myself to be vastly superior rather than entering brain dead discussions like that. I like chess for chess, not for drama. Queen h6 first and then knight e4. Okay, I forgot this. And now knight e4. By the way, Capablanca Nimzovic. And this is, guys, where the actual puzzle starts. Yeah, there is Syrian chess. I did play actually against a Syrian player. The only time when someone tried to cheat against me over the board. Well, the one that I know. He actually played a move. I went for a walk. The guy played a move, then took it back and played something else. It was absolutely surreal. I don't mean to smack talk Syrians, by the way. It's just... I don't want to name the player. He was a quite well-known Syrian chess player, and he has never done it again, so... yeah. But because it was the only time it was done against me, it is a very vivid memory. Pulakesh Sahu, you are an absolute legend. Knight FG5. This is, by the way, if you know the very famous Fischer Banco, then this should be easy for you. Because the concept is the same. To blockade on F6, to bring the bishop in for mate. So we go first here, then we go first here. And that ensures that the F pawn can't move up. And so bishop E4 secures a checkmate. You can't believe that people are still hating on Hans. Well, I mean, he's not doing exactly a lot of favors to himself, is he? That might have something to do with it, right? Alright, this is another absolute belter. Very difficult. This, unlike the previous one, looks a little bit like a Sicilian. Sure, he's not a jerk. Sure, he's a jerk, but not a cheater. I mean, he admitted to cheating. He was caught cheating. And there is proof that he cheated beyond what he admitted to, right? Other than that, I guess he's not. But I have moved past that. But since then, he has been doing things that are not really helping his case, right? Such as agreeing to undergo a lie detector if he loses his match to Dubov. He goes on to lose the match, and the first thing he says after is that he's not doing what he agreed to do. So that's what I mean when I say that he's not doing any favors to himself. What do I think of Judit endgame courses? I don't know because I wasn't co-authoring those. But I would assume, given that it was authored by Judit and Marin, and I respect both of those above and beyond, that it's top quality stuff. Rook G4. But what is the threat, brother, after Rook G4? That needs a bit of love. Pulakesh, you are a legend, buddy, and today is the first time I see your name in the chat. Are you a YouTube sub? Be honest with me, young man. You look to me like a very gifted, based on the name, Indian feller. So indeed, guys, Rook F6, Knight F6 first, because that creates a threat. The threat is mate, and when they take is when we play Rook G4. Threat, followed by a threat. And because of mate is threatened on G8, that's only defensible by moving the bishop, and then comes Queen G7 mate. Yes, Stefkic, Judith and I worked on it an awful lot. And like, I'm only giving you a glimpse here. Like, this is like 0.1% of one course, and we wrote 3. Alright, Greenfeld Polgar. What do we do? I love this one too. This is so cute. Oh, man. The GM got busted here. Alan Greenfeld against Judith. Oh, Fouches already coming in strong. Wow. Sunyata Zero. Thank you. Marty Martini. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Pulakesh, when you said yes, you mean yes you are Indian, yes you are very good at chess, or yes you are a subscriber to the channel? It's all good, Omar. I didn't take any offense, or I didn't mean to also offend, but I just found it hilarious that the dude played a move, pressed the clock, then took the move back, and then pressed the clock back. Oh. Tindi, that is all correct. Nonetheless, it's a matter of having an agreement and then completely backing out of it is what makes the whole situation shady. Alright, so since the correct solution was already called, I'm going to have a look at... Yes, Twitch has called it too, Rook D2. And the idea, of course, was that in case they take the rook, we go check, king here, takes the rook, and we win the knight on the pin. Okay, now we still need to stop this. How do we do that? Queen f4, I suppose, is a way to go, because then we have got backring mate. Rook e4 looks good to me. I don't even know what the move is here, to be honest. Even rook takes h4 is possible, I reckon. Yeah, rook h4. Fair enough. Oh yeah, because now rook e7 is met by queen c1 mate. That's pretty. Oh, I love this one. Oh boy, do I like this one a lot. This is a really, really good one. If anyone solves this from get-go all the way to the end, I would be very, very impressed. The first move is a bit tricky because it's not a puzzly type of move. Actually, I think I will play it out for you. It's queen d6, and after h3 it is time to shine. Come on and shine, shine, shine like a star, wherever you are. Rook f3, queen f3 is mate, no? So rook f3 hg is the problem. Rook h3 I take, no? This doghead guy on Twitch is doing things. So the idea, guys, is indeed rook f3 and rook h3. This move is absolute bananas city, and it requires you to recognize this pattern here that the pawn is pinned. So rook h3. Now we have check, and this is game over. Who can see the rest of the sequence? How does white, sorry, black win the game? Okay, pawn push, then f3. What do we do after? I need a full line. Yeah, man with head of dog, of course, calculated this correctly. So what do we do after d4 f3? Queen h3, king back. YouTube is not coming up with the goods yet. Yeah. So what you do, guys, here is check. Yeah. f3 forced. You take h3. Now the queen can't block because that hangs f1. So the king has to go back, and then the pawn steps up again, hitting the queen, and the new discovered check decides the game. All right, we have got time for about 2 more, and then I will have to go. Yes, full chess. It does. Yeah, rook h3 is sensational. Yeah. Yeah, either or is fine. All right, this is a really cute one. Please give an exclamation mark if you know it. By the way, Eid Mubarak to our Muslim friends. A day or 2 late, but still. I can already see a solution on the Twitch chat. Yes, it is part of the course, yes. So, this is still my course with Judit Polgar, also known as Judit Polgar. Is there some chess streamer drama that I missed recently? I don't know, buddy. But let me tell you one thing. If there was, you are at the worst possible place to figure out about it. Because I have got exactly 0 tosses to give about chess drama. I'm here for chess, not for nonsense. Knight takes g6, very good. And then comes the sexy queen h5. Sacking the queen, and of course, it couldn't be accepted because of a spectacular Matutsky. What to do now, though? Bangtown, California, you are most welcome, buddy. Quality content, I can deliver. Brain the drama, not so much. Yeah, just g6. Hitting the rook, hitting mate. Do we take? Yes, we do. Oh, sheesh. No, we don't. Hello. I failed at my own course. Oh my god, look at that. Rook f5 and mate on g6. h6. Oh, you freaking hero, mate. Thank you so much. Bangtown, California comes in strong with the 5 gifted subbies. Legend. Do you ever do any videos about Petrosyan? Yes, I do. Are you a subscriber to my YouTube channel? From that question, I guess the answer is no, you are not. In the No Die Classic series, there is at least one Petrosyan game on my channel. This is why you need to subscribe to the channel, guys, so that, yeah, you get the quality videos at your convenience. All right. Lucky last. Tuna. I was subbed. What do you mean was? Holy Jesus, man. Like, what? Now, that is the worst insult I have ever received in my life. If you use the word chess influencer one more time in the same sentence with me, I'm going to walk to your farm to slap you. And that's about, I don't know, 1,000 kilometers from where I live. I am Omar, 50k from YouTube, 55k from YouTube. Omar, tell me the secret, buddy. Tell me the secret. Why to move be a rockstar? A secret of being a 55k YouTuber. That's what I'm after. Mullah Mijazi, the collie is a piece of poo. It doesn't matter whether you start with knight f6 or not. Play d5, c5, and by move 5 you are actually better with black. It's one of the easiest things. Because it's a rubbish opening, right? Put your pieces in the center and you will be fine. Hello, Noye, how are you going? Oh, you mean that you already are a sub? I thought that you unsubbed. I'm like, dude. What now, ladies? What now? This is gonna be so cool. I remember the mate now. Oh my god, this is the best. Stefkic, but what if knight h5? Because of mate in 1 with queen g5 through Maddie. Yeah, queen h6, knight h5, ladies. I need the full line. Yeah, he's getting free lessons from me without me even making a video, right? Egg, thank you for the follow, buddy. So queen h6, and we are going to finish with a flourish, guys. Queen g7 check, and a beautiful smothered Materino. This is where it's at, baby. this is where it's at. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a fitting finish. So today we were working on Master Your Chess with Judit Polgar, which is a Chessable course that was co-authored by yours truly and Judit Polgar. And today I gave you a bit of a glimpse into what things you can see in this course. Of course, it was only a tiny segment of it. This was the tactics part. The course features lots of other topics as well. And now we are going to call it a day, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you are not a subscriber to the YouTube channel, do so now. And other than that, all I have is now a big fat raid going my way from my way to, I think, Danya. We haven't raided Danya in a while, so let's do that. Tomorrow I'm going to start the stream earlier, and it's going to be a longer stream, so be sure to join in. Servus, Mate. Gee, sorry, buddy, you just came here for the late party. Mate, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. So, and it's worth it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to see you folks tomorrow. I will start a little bit earlier, and I will be on for a lot longer than usual. Oh, well, I will be on until now, but I will start noticeably earlier. So tomorrow we'll have a bigger stream. Take care. Love you all. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.